Hey, Salina.
Hey, Nikki.
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
You look like you're rocking a baby.
Oh, I thought I looked kind of like Santa Claus of pillowcases.
She has an ice pack in a pillowcase draped over her shoulder, slung, touching her back, because we're 40.
That's right. I told Nikki that today or last night I woke up and I had injured my back in my sleep. Like a 40-year-old.
It's a thing that happens. Then I proceeded to tell you 2 stories that happened to me this week. You came in, told Kyle a story, and he was like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Right. And our same spot and on our back is,
Yes.
it's the same.
It's the exact same.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Right.
It hurts. Anyway, we're here for...
we're 40.
Season 9. It's season 9, episode 4, the Samantha episode.
Yes, that sounds right.
It seems right?
Uh-huh.
My file title says episode 4, but my document says episode 3, so
Oh.
we'll see.
Okay. Mine says episode 4.
Yeah, there we
You
go.
know what's the scary part is? I made both of them. This is my way of getting you.
So confused. All right, so we're going to talk about Samantha this week. We watched season 1, episode 10, The Baby Shower. We watched season 2, episode 16, Was It Good For You? Season 3, episode 6, Are We Sluts? Season 5, episode 4, Cover Girl. And season 6, episode 4, Pick a Little, Talk a Little.
This doesn't even sound right to hear you say it.
Are we sluts? So our summary for The Baby Shower is, as neither of the 4 friends has a solid prospect of engagement, they hate feeling obliged to attend a formerly bizarre socialite's baby shower. That was hard to say. Formerly bizarre socialite's baby shower, when it turns out she even stole Charlotte's years ago made up unique baby name, Shayla. They march out scandalized. The worrying worsens as Carrie's period is really late and she doesn't even know yet how she would feel about her pregnancy.
You did not write this.
I did not.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like,
No,
this doesn't sound like you at all.
This is, well, thank you. I'm going to say thank you.
Yeah.
It's from the Sex and the City wiki.
They tried.
This one was written by Terry Minsky and Candace Bushnell, directed by Susan Seidelman, and Sweet Tea and TV fun fact. This one originally aired on my birthday.
Oh.
It was my 13th birthday.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So then we have season 2, episode 16, Was It Good For You? Carrie dates a recovering alcoholic who becomes obsessed with her. Charlotte is determined to learn how to have good sex after her partner falls asleep on her. And then Samantha gets an offer to have a threesome with 2 gay friends. This one was written by Michael Patrick King and Candace Bushnell, directed by Daniel Algrant. And Sweet Tea and TV fun fact, this one originally aired on my mom's birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was looking at the air dates and I was like, wait, those are special days.
Oh, that's nice.
Back
to back.
Back to, well, different seasons though. Season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
Season
Back-to-back birthdays.
Oh, yeah, that's true. This is true. Season 3, episode 6, Are We Sluts? The summary is Carrie wants to sleep with Aiden, but he's reluctant to rush into a physical relationship. Miranda discovers she has chlamydia and has to inform her past sexual partners. Charlotte's new boyfriend calls her names during sex, and Samantha's neighbors disapprove of her sex life after a late-night visitor lets in a burglar. It was written by Candace Bushnell and Cindy Chupak and directed by Nicole Holofcener.
Okay.
I tried.
I think you're doing great.
Thank you. Cover
and
Girl.
I've not heard someone say slut that many times.
And sex. It
In a
just
long
kept
way.
coming. Oh, no.
I don't have a problem with the sex. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
This is just a hard conversation. Oh, no. Just go, Nikki. Just go.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Season 5, episode 4, Cover Girl. Carrie works with Samantha to get the perfect look for her book cover. Charlotte starts reading self-help books. Miranda goes to Weight Watchers to lose her baby weight. Samantha gets upset when she feels the girls are judging her sex life. This one was written by Judy Toll, Michael Patrick King, and Candace Bushnell, and it was directed by John David Coles. And the guest stars are Amy Sedaris and Molly Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
Those were surprises for me.
Oh,
I was not
yeah.
expecting to see them there.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last episode we're going to talk about this week is season 6, episode 4, Pick a Little, Talk a Little. Carrie feels bad for criticizing Berger's book. When Berger tells Miranda that a guy is, quote, not that into her, she feels compelled to spread the knowledge to others. Charlotte cooks her first Shabbat dinner for Harry, and Samantha and Jerry act out all their sexual fantasies. This one was written by David Frankel, directed by Julie Rottenberg, Elisa Zaritsky, and Candace Bushnell. Guest stars Ron Livingston is Berger. Also a surprise for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's like a big, now we've got a new question we've introduced in Carrie Land, which is, who is Berger?
That's right.
I had no idea. Also, another...
Every Sex and the City fan is shocked.
Really?
Yes.
I had no idea.
It's a big love for her.
And he's also a Post-it note guy.
Yes.
How does one know this?
Well, they watch it
In order. All right,
Yeah.
fine. The other thing I wanted to share is I had to go down a deep dive because the he's just not that into you concept. Did you read that book in college?
Absolutely not.
I feel like it was required reading at a point in time.
Yes.
In the early 2000s.
Yes. I saw the movie.
This episode was the inspiration for that book.
That's right.
I didn't know that.
But you do now.
I do now.
Well, I did know, but what I wasn't sure of was the order.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they already had the book planned and then kind of slid it in like a promo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it is the other way around.
Isn't that crazy?
It really is. It's
So, like,
very early aughts guidance, I think.
Candace Bushnell doesn't get like writing credit for like that whole concept of he's just not that into you.
Well, I don't think it's hers.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with the book. Like literally they, especially this far down the path, I feel fairly confident when I'm saying this, but since like those two writers on the show came up with it and then they were like, oh, we have a book on our hands.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, so they wrote the book.
Yes.
Oh, see, my rabbit hole should have taken me like 4 steps further. I didn't make it that far.
Do you ever wonder if any of the information you're reading is accurate though? So
Yes.
I'm waiting for a third person to come in like right now and be like, sorry,
It's
you
gonna be my
both have it
kids.
wrong. Yeah,
I have
maybe.
the book right here.
Right. I live by this. I live and die by it, mommy.
I did read the book in college.
And how did you feel about it?
I did not feel as empowered as Miranda did.
Yeah.
Miranda really felt like that was her key to the world.
Right.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are the episodes this week.
Okay.
Can you tell us who Samantha is?
I can tell you who Samantha is. I can tell everyone who Samantha is. Why not?
No, just me.
Okay.
I'll mute your microphone. Hold on.
Perfect. Well, I did see you slide down my volume.
I've been watching our sound levels over here. They're coming out loud today for some reason.
It was just funny because there was like I yelled into the microphone. You didn't even look up, not 2 beats, and I just saw it slide down. And I was like, oh, sorry. Sorry.
I am watching. I'm not a great producer, but I am watching.
You are a great producer.
Trying.
So Samantha is played by Kim Cattrall. We like to talk about the archetypes, or we're doing it. So,
like it or not, it's happening.
Samantha is our Blanche from Golden Girls. She is our Suzanne from Designing Women. If we were talking goddesses, which Nikki loves this, she'd be our Venus, our Aphrodite, the dark feminine to Charlotte's light. So there you go. Nikki's been thinking about this for weeks now.
Is she a Venus? Is she the darkness to Charlotte's lightness? All these things.
Now
Kyle tells you.
Venus,
I'm
your fire.
I'm shaving my legs.
All the references. What did you tell Kyle? Where are we?
Oh, he told you how I roll around in bed at night like I'm getting into a fight. It's because I'm tossing and I'm thinking, is she a Venus? Is she a DeMilo?
This story could have gone a million different directions.
And here we are.
Other archetype things. She's a nonconformist and a pleasure seeker, and like Nikki in the middle of the night, and quite possibly. She's also quite possibly one of the most hedonistic TV characters of all time. Because here's the thing. Hedonism, not just about pleasure. It's also about pain avoidance. And Samantha is nothing if not an avoider of pain. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't know anything about it. I really like to lean into it as I throw my ice pack over my back. But we shouldn't take for granted how singular it was to have a woman in the late 90s and early aughts saying, without guilt or shame, I love sex. I don't want or need a husband or children, and I love me the most. And yes, Nikki, you can clip that and make it my Christmas card. I'll send it out to all my family.
I love me the most.
I love me the most. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of her character. Where is Samantha at her best? What's not so great? And where does she just fall apart, even though we don't love that category anymore?
Yeah. I think for me, the best parts of her when we get to see those vulnerable spots about her. Mm-hmm. So we also, I don't think she gets enough credit for being a girl's girl. And she deserves credit for that because I especially noticed this in the baby shower. She hated everything about that woman, Lainey or whatever her name was, hated everything about her. She was competing with her nonstop. But then, and so then at the party, Lainey embarrasses herself and Samantha says, "This is at once so sad and the most fabulous validation I've ever gotten in my life." But seconds later, she's pouring a glass of water to calm Lainey down. I don't know if you noticed that, but she literally pours her a glass of water and hands it to her. So she's a girl's girl, even if it's competition for her. And she also unapologetically and unquestioningly defended Charlotte over the name, partly because she hates Lainey and she wanted any excuse to do that, but also I think because she wants to be there for her friend. So I think she's at her best when we get to see those parts of her.
I like that. I also had the baby shower down as a, where she really showed up for her friends. This also episode really plays heavily into my peak Samantha moments because she's definitely Samantha-ing all through that one. But also another example would be providing Carrie with her very expensive PR services for a lunch. In season 5, episode 4, Cover Girl.
Yeah.
What about the bad?
I've told you this before. I think this was maybe the first episode we recorded this season, that she's just not always the most supportive friend. Like sometimes she just straight up doesn't even seem to know what's going on in her friends' lives. She also ices people out. You mentioned this just a minute ago in her archetype. Like the second things get complicated, she ices people out like she did to Jerry in Pick a Little, Talk a Little. As soon as it starts to feel too real, she shuts down. And I think that can be tough.
So I had that as my when she falls apart. Again, that's strong, but it's also in that one, it feels particularly vile because he tells her that he's an alcoholic and she's like, bye.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's not even just complicated.
That's true.
It's just like him being really vulnerable.
Yeah.
And she's like, see you later.
Hey, gotta go.
Yeah. And I mean, now she had just, I think a lot that shows up in this batch of episodes is post Richard, and she's still really hurt by him.
Yeah.
And I think watching it out of order the way we're doing, sometimes it's almost helpful to have her say something. Eventually she'll wind up saying something.
Yeah.
And you're just reminded, it is a season later, but she's still really not in a great place.
She's
about that.
a part of her arc that is missing for me because I'm not watching it in order.
Yes. I also have for the bad, the baby shower again. This is that competition feels a little bit like a jealous streak. It comes out a little mean-spirited.
A little.
It's also hilarious.
So funny.
But also mean-spirited.
It's pretty darn mean-spirited.
Yeah.
It's fully in that category.
Yes. But she does do it so well. So there is that. The other thing I thought, to your point about the fact that she's just not very thoughtful sometimes. I don't know if you noticed this, but in Pick a Little, Talk a Little, she takes her sex phone call in the middle of Miranda's story and very rudely.
Yes.
She's like, excuse me, I have a sex phone call.
Yes.
And she's like, shut your mouth.
I have important things going on.
Exactly. And it's not the best.
It's not the best.
Did you have any other within this category that we should talk about?
Not in this category.
Okay. I did pull some. Oh, but what about falls apart?
When she falls apart.
For you, yes.
I wanted to just bring up the episode Cover Girl, because in that episode you mentioned, okay, so she did give Carrie her PR services, which was kind.
Yes.
But she was also super unsupportive to Carrie about her fashion preferences.
Yeah.
Like everything Carrie wanted, she was telling her was wrong. Now, it also happened the other way where Carrie was making fun of her fashion choices. But I feel like if you're treating someone as a client, you need to like honor their preferences. Not to mention if they're your friend, you should know them well enough to know they're never going to wear that.
Right.
So I felt like she fell apart as a friend there. She also got really mad when Carrie didn't agree with her. I think, again, because it like pricked something in her and made her feel judged, which made her lash out.
Yeah.
But then she went totally bonkers over the UPS guy thing, which I will mention more later, kind of how I feel about that whole plot line. But this is where you just mentioned she came around and said her relationship with Richard had ended and just left her spiraling. She didn't even know who she was. So she fell apart in that episode, but at least we did get a little bit of context.
Yes. Also, feels worth noting, she is very much so like Suzanne in her fashion choices.
Yes.
With the, what are they, Pinois? Pinois sets?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. And I loved Carrie in that one.
Oh.
When she opens up the thing and she's got the on her breasticles. And she just like looks like me anytime I want to say at work. Not the outfit.
Hold on, okay.
The facial expression.
I was like,
well, maybe if I want to get sent home. I might.
Depends on the week.
So I did look up some, award stuff just to see what stood out or how she fared over the years. She was Emmy nominated in 2002, 2003, and 2004 for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. She won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress in a Series, Miniseries, or Television Film in 2002 and was nominated for the same award in 2000 and in 2003. Just like breezing through it seemed like they were like, okay, we'll do this one this year, we'll do this one that year.
Right.
Like you could see some mental calculations on the part of the whoever they are, the Globetrotters, whatever. Then I also looked into some things about Kim and what she had to say about.
Oh, hold on real quick. Can I ask you a question? Yes. In thinking about shining moments across the series, I was poking around in things for this week's Extra Sugar, and I was reminded there's a breast cancer plot line for Samantha.
Yes.
Is any of that worth watching in understanding her character or in seeing some of Kim's best performances?
It absolutely is. And I think that these might be captured in Carrie's episodes.
Okay.
And if they're not, then we will put it in the what do you miss? What do we miss? Because that was like mental gymnastics. That was a lot of mental gymnastics to make sure we didn't repeat. Mm-hmm. It might even come up in the men's episodes. Okay. But I feel like somewhere it will. It would make more sense for it to be here.
Well, I don't know that.
But I think I
don't know what else it goes with. But when I was thinking about shining moments across the series, then I saw that. I was like, I wonder if there's some like knockout performances because she tends to be, I mean, again, we've talked before about this being a show about Carrie. She tends to be this sort of like B plot a little bit.
And maybe like
does that bring her to the front a little more?
Right. And maybe even sometimes C plotted.
Yes.
I don't know if you were feeling that in this batch of episodes, but I was. I know there was at least one where I was like, is she in this episode?
Is she even here? Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, come on, Chat GPT. I'm like, I'm relying on you. Yeah.
Computers,
I mean, there are a handful of things that happen across the cancer episodes that are special.
Okay.
And I don't, they don't always have the specific episodes, but
that they're nominated for.
But I think one of the ones that she was nominated for was during the cancer plot run.
Okay.
For lack of a better way to put that.
Okay. So we'll keep eyes on that through the season and maybe add it into that last episode.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And I think we should probably just have a meeting of the minds. That will be an email between you and I. The meeting of the schedules, if you will. Asynchronous planning.
Asynchronous 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. meeting.
That's right.
Of the emails.
But we'll be grumpy somewhere, so don't worry about it. And come about 9 a.m., we'll be like, there's a reason we do this. But not 5 a.m. I don't know.
Early.
It's too early. So I would like to say that in more recent years, when Kim has talked about Samantha, it's really been in line with why she's not a part of it, and Just Like That.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a lot of the coverage. You probably saw that coverage coming up in
which I
years.
meant to share with you in advance is going to be a lot of what I talk about in the in this week's Extra Sugar, which is going to be about the behind the scene drama of
So let me stop
Sex and
there
the City.
then. I mean, all I did was pull a couple of quotes about what she said. I will say the flavor of it is like, I watched a lot of the coverage around that and read a lot of things when the show first came out back in 2021 or whatever. And the quotes that I pulled, let's just say they were I thought they were very even killed. It was very much more like, this character's run is done. I don't see what we're doing from here, like in that vein. She did talk a little bit. Now, this isn't this time frame, but this has more to do with her feelings on Samantha. So at some point in recent years, she told Today, I don't think I'll ever say goodbye to Samantha. She's like a lot of other characters I've done over the years. I get very emotionally attached and protective of my characters. She gave me so much, and I'm so appreciative of her. And then she's also told British Vogue that her favorite line is, honey, they don't call it a job for nothing.
Good impression. Does a good impression. I had that written down too, and I was sitting here thinking, I don't think I'm going to be able to deliver that well. I
don't know it was good.
That was good.
I gave it my best shot. It's really hard for me to do that deep voice.
I thought it was good.
Thanks.
I also found a People magazine quote recently where she said, I created a fantastic character that I loved, and I put a lot of love into it. And if I'm remembered only for that, then that's really okay.
I think that something that's really interesting about watching it through I'm the worst, y'all. Every episode you're going to hear me drinking, you know? So it's not even anything fun. That's the real
emergency. It's emergency.
Drinking an Ensure and slipping into Werther's Original.
At least it's not a Metamucil.
Putting on my magnesium rub. I did offer Nikki some in case y'all are interested.
I might change my mind here in a little while.
We'll
see.
This stuff's really good here.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the middle of the table.
Okay.
Just change your mind.
Thank you.
So I was thinking about that a little bit, whatever the heck I said, which I can't remember. But the other thing that I was thinking about her character is, as we're watching it in this order, in this way, and having to pull out these specific moments and sometimes realizing, oh, there's not that much here.
Yeah.
It makes it, I think, clear how good of a job Kim Cattrall did making these small moments make Samantha come to life, making her larger than life, and people really remembering her and identifying with her in some ways, or like the staunch ways they don't identify with her, but it's that strong of a character. And that really, I think, speaks to her as a performer. And sometimes I think that Kim Cattrall is a little underappreciated for her ability to perform.
My sense is she thinks that too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's not easy being a beautiful woman, I'm told.
It must be so hard. Must be so hard. Are we ready for watch party notes?
I'm asynchronous already.
All right. Let's get asynchronous. We're talking about our top 3 moments that stuck with us, maybe moments where she surprised us either emotionally or comedically, or like you just mentioned, maybe it's just her performance that we want to highlight.
Yeah, I think, so there's a couple of different places in it, but one that really stood out for me was in CoverGirl, and specifically this tension that's building across the episode between Carrie and Samantha. I just think, most of us in friendships have encountered maybe not this specific situation, but situations where I think everybody's trying to ignore it or just move along, but what you really have to do is address the elephant in the room, and something is going to get, accounted for eventually. And I really thought that Samantha did a good job playing down her frustration, because she's obviously not doing a good job at it. I just think that's a very layered thing to have to settle in your brain, I would imagine, as you're acting. And then of course she gives her, I want to say, version of the Patrick Henry speech of give me liberty or give me death.
In a very Samantha way.
Yes, because she says, and I cannot believe that you would judge me after everything that we've been through. Samantha, where are you going? I'm going to splash some water on my face and then I'm going home. And I will not be judged by you or society. And I will wear whatever and blow whomever I want as long as I can breathe and kneel. Patrick Henry.
Sure,
That's
sure,
the
sure.
speech he gave, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
My God, I hope it was.
Same.
Nothing would give me more pleasure.
Same.
This is, but like it does all culminate in what is kind of also a cheesecake moment or a Cosmo moment or whatever you want to call it. But like
Cosmo conversation.
in a Cosmo conversation, obviously I have that tattooed on my back now. That's why my back hurts. But you know, they did have this exchange where they both admit that maybe something is amiss. And Carrie does admit that she was judging her. And she does admit that that's unfair because Samantha's always shown up for her. And you'll get to see more of that in our Carrie episode about where she stood by her side in a place where maybe some friends wouldn't have or made her feel some sort of shame or stigma. And also, again, I think this is one of those points where we're brought into the fact that Samantha is also hurting. And so she's not quite as strong as she usually would be able to be because they do tease Samantha a lot about her sexual escapades. And most of the time she laughs it off.
She takes it just fine.
Yeah, and I just don't think she's in a place to do that.
And so this episode is the one that was all of the moments that stuck with me the most, other than the baby shower, because she was Samantha-ing at a really high level in that one. But throughout this whole episode, I was like kind of annoyed with her because they tease her a lot, because like she just seemed to be taking this thing and blowing it way out of proportion. No pun intended. But like, what was Carrie supposed to do? Just stand there and stare?
I have so many thoughts, and I feel like I think I'll have the opportunity to get there. And if I don't, I'll come back to it. But I think it basically boils down to manners on everyone's part, and everyone dropped the manners ball.
Wait, I love that it boils down to manners for you.
That's right. Well, because I'm not gonna sexually shame someone. So I have two solutions that really could have helped. Screw it. I'll go ahead and say it. One, lock the door.
Sure.
Knock.
Oh.
These are two that she walks right in.
Yeah.
So those are your two things. She was doing it behind a closed door. It's not like the open office scene with Richard. That one for me was hard because like I just feel like maybe just a little bit more blockage.
Because it's not just about you. It's about the people around you. And maybe
right.
people don't want to stick up for Carrie. You're just not going to stand there and watch the situation.
Manners.
This is true.
This is a manners moment with Mrs. Smith.
This is true.
I'm just going to say, if you're feeling the need to kneel, good for you, girl, good for you, boy, whatever. But lock the door. Carrie, knock. All would have been avoided.
Or watch the clock, and if you have a meeting scheduled with someone, don't entertain yourself otherwise. That was the thing that bothered me. She knew what time Carrie was going to be there. Manners. This is what you're saying.
So this is what we can learn from this situation.
This is what we can learn from this situation. That's true. The other thing that I appreciated in this batch of episodes, the fact that this episode was the one that shared with me how messed up she was post Richard. Because
did it click for you after that?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, mostly because she said, it's not just you. I judge me. Ever since Richard, I don't know who I am. I have only seen this much of their relationship, and it didn't seem that serious to me. And so her being this messed up over it, that puts that into focus for me. And in the whole episode, all of CoverGirl, I was like, God, she's being so annoying. Like, why is she blowing this out of proportion? All Carrie did was realize she made a mistake, walk out of the room, and move on about her day. And then she made a joke about it later, which maybe wasn't necessary. Yes. But then I realized Samantha was projecting a lot. Samantha was trying to figure out herself in the middle of all of this, and she was feeling like her friends were making fun of her. So it took the episode for that to click for me, but I'm glad it finally came around because I was like, this is wild. They are making controversy where there does not need to be any. But then it came around that it was necessary conflict.
Right. I also, in terms of like peak performances, I don't know that it's just some, it's also things that stick with you are kind of this category. And for me, it's the Are We Sluts episode. This is the I just really hate that word.
It's just an ugly word.
It is. I'm going to change it to "Are we butts?" And then we can laugh every time. You know what I'm saying? So the montage of her.
But then you've equated
montage.
sluts with butts. And is that what you really want to do?
No, I just want to exchange it.
Yeah. So let's go with
King Tuts.
King Tut.
There's just nothing good. It's fine. We'll be fine. So the montage,
Struts.
not the montage of her with the different men in the elevator, followed by the look as she remembers all of the different men with her in the elevator. Yeah, that look just lives rent-free in my brain.
I need to rewatch that.
It's pretty amazing.
It's funny.
What about other observations, like quotes or peak Samantha? Anything for you here?
I have like 2 outrageous quotes.
Okay.
Well, no, I have like 3 from
Yes, and this is where we lose our clean podcast.
I know, the baby shower. What's going on? She stole my baby name. You bitch. She says it with like no questions, no anything.
Right.
She just needed one reason.
She's just been waiting.
Just one reason. And that's on sisterhood. I call that sisterhood. And then in Was It Good For You, she says, who we are in bed is who we are in life. And it just feels, I wouldn't say outrageous quotes. They're very prescient quotes. Do you know what I mean? She's the sage of this show.
She is. She's like a sexual Nostradamus.
Predicting the end of the world. What are your favorite quotes?
Or the beginning.
That's
I
true.
don't know. Let's see. So
The second coming.
I like the couch. You said it. I like the couch runner in the baby shower. So she says, I'm going to clean it up. If she ducks on my couch, she's buying it. And there's like first at a flashback about Lainey from her party days, then later about Miranda and like her tax accountant or something. Also, who invites their tax accountant to a party?
New Yorkers, man, they're different.
Right. And then has the same sentiment, but if Lainey like gives birth on it, she's like, I swear to God, if she gives birth on my couch. That always works for me.
Yeah.
Runners. In Are We Sluts, she says,
Are we King Tuts?
Are we King? I'm sorry.
Thought we agreed.
When she tells Carrie how her building neighbors ostracized her for all her guests, so she says, they practically chased me out like I was Duckenstein. Y'all put it together, okay? I don't want to have to revive Nikki off the ground. They can evict you for having sex. They're jealous, dried up old farts who haven't had sex since Eisenhower. I remind them of what they can't have. And then I'm going to say the other one that were just like the most outrageous from her was the glazed donut conversation is what I'm calling it. And I really wish I had written down the name of the episode, but I didn't. But she says, this is the Krispy Kreme donut episode. Does that help?
That was Cover Girl.
Oh, it is Cover Girl.
Yeah.
Okay. She says
that's the one where she goes to Weight Watchers, where Miranda goes to Weight. Yeah. Cover Girl.
Thank you. She says, when I was a lesbian, I saw that coming. I could get in and out nothing more than a fine lip gloss. And I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot more lines. But I do think maybe the next best one. We do also get an Emily Post plug, which is nice. But then later on, she says, then when he popped his head up, he had such a proud look on his face. And Samantha says, they always look so proud, like they just came back from war.
That was the most, probably the closest thing to gross out humor we've had so far in any of these episodes. That was a tough watch for me. That was tough.
What I didn't appreciate on this rewatch was, please don't mess up Krispy Kreme for me.
I know. Don't ruin that for me.
Don't ruin it.
Yeah.
Also, I had this thought too about like, there was a lot of product placement in that one.
Yes.
And if I was Krispy Kreme,
yes,
is that the association?
That's not the one that I would have chosen.
You know what I'm saying?
And yes, I do.
That was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Is all. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or like, did Dunkin' Donuts pay for that?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Fair point.
That would have been wild. What about peak Samantha?
Peak Samantha, the baby shower, all over the baby shower. She says they're kind of debating whether to go to this baby shower or not. And she says, she's got a point. It's the right thing to do. And then she has this like far away look in her eye and she goes, just imagine how fat she'll be. And she gets this like smile on her face. And then there's like a whole concept of having an I don't have a baby shower, just to remind everyone that she's fabulous. Yep. That's peak Samantha.
Yep. I'll just tack on same stuff. Her baby shower gift is a bottle of scotch.
Yes.
Then she opens said bottle of scotch to go have a drink and says, jealous. So I think, yeah, she really hits all the markers in that one.
So that was season 1. And in thinking about sort of the full trajectory of that character, it's interesting to me that that is probably the most peak Samantha that I can imagine in all the episodes we've seen so far. And I wonder what that means. Like, was Kim Cattrall still finding the character and found that was too over the top, for instance? Or maybe I haven't seen enough and she really is that extra in other places. But I just thought it was interesting that came so early in the series.
Yeah, it could also be like what it is that brought that out in her. And obviously that baby shower just really undid everyone.
Yes.
So
it was pretty awful.
Yeah, so there's that aspect of it. I also think there's probably some parallels between like what everyone brings as a gift in this, and it was sort of giving the energy of Miranda's mom's funeral, only because it's like it brought out their personality so squarely.
Yes.
So like Carrie forgets a present, Miranda gets her condoms. It's okay. It's pastel colored, so it's really nice. And then of course we know about Samantha's gift, and then Charlotte shows up with like
the most perfect whatever, the thing everybody has right now and is talking about.
Right. So there was just some parallels in that for me. I also had for peak Samantha, this is in Was It Good For You? I mean, I'm sorry, I have the wrong episode down for that. It's Cover Girl, but obviously it's the situation with the delivery guy. So, I mean, that's peak Samantha energy right there.
In that same episode, she's trying to get Carrie to be a little more daring in her cover photo. And she's like, showing her outfits and stuff. I can't remember exactly what leads to it, but basically Carrie is like, I can't do that. Or maybe it's Carrie looking at the original picture they're trying to use, but she's like, people are going to make so much fun of me. Like they're just going to, can you imagine I'm going to be on the newsstand and people are going to be laughing at me. And Samantha says, people are not that mean. And then she picks up a magazine or something and goes, oh my God, she looks awful. Is her stylist blind? No, people are not that mean, but Samantha's are that mean. Those are the people we're afraid of in life.
It's not wrong, you know. Pick a little, talk a little. I'm going to call it Duck Fest 03 between her and Jerry, later on known as Smith, by the way. They're dressing up their sexual fantasies, including for Sexy Audit, which I think was my favorite. Personally,
I had that whole relationship down as peak Samantha. Like everything about that feels peak Samantha. And so I'm super interested to see what happens next with that. Because I do think we had an episode earlier this season, and I can't remember which one it is right now, but it was right as their relationship was kind of starting. So I can see that that's going to last a few episodes. So I hope it works out for her.
You're just a little Sex in the City, baby.
Hope it works out for her.
Is there anything else in this category that we've missed?
No.
Okay. So how about a whoops, that didn't age well. What you got?
Well, I think more calling all of the brand references throughout this batch of episodes, because like you said, Cover Girl had several, like there was a Weight Watchers reference / whole plot line. There was an Amazon.com reference in that one.
Amazon 1.0.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
But then one I wanted to mention in particular was the Diaper Genie reference in the baby shower episode, because that's not a dated reference. I had diaper genies when I had my babies in 2016 and 2017. So that one aged really well. And I don't usually get to call that out.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I think they want to keep those around, you know.
They're helpful.
Although you could say that, like, could the technology improve? I don't know. But I don't know what you do with it. So
I don't know.
Kick it into the fifth dimension or something. So I had on the baby shower, JFK Jr. as Charlotte's dream man. He's no longer with us. I'm not trying to be sad, but he's not. And I was wondering if, like, will we get a new Kennedy today? Would it be Jack Schlossberg or whatever his name is that everybody's going crazy for? Just throwing it out there.
But JFK Jr. wouldn't have been with us then either, would he? He would have in that episode. Okay. Yeah. Then surely.
That's all having a moment too with love
Yes, with
story
the
or
love
whatever.
story thing.
Mhm. So
Intense.
what's old is new again, I guess. I had down the dog zapping technology as the newest thing. Like, because like the fact that no one knew, and they're like, "Oh, what?"
This show really like amps up the suburbanness of things, or anything non-New York City. They
Right.
really put on steroids.
Oh yeah, we'll have some stuff.
Oh my gosh.
We've added on a category for this one. So I also had in season 2, episode 16, Carrie and Patrick. This is the guy in Alcoholics Anonymous that she dates, having a post-coital cigarette. That just felt like something that probably doesn't happen quite as at the same rate anymore.
It's just all the smoking.
Just all
the smoking.
Yeah. In Are We King Tuts? Catherine Zeta-Jones gets referenced kind of like the it girl of the moment. I think today we get a Sydney Sweeney or something. But I'm just also going to say, riddle me this. Aiden says, I don't care what anybody says. I think Catherine Zeta-Jones is hot.
Who was saying she wasn't?
This is what I'm saying. Anyways, I just thought I was like, what? I'm pretty sure that was universal, no?
Aiden always the most tapped into pop culture, though? Like maybe he saw like a tabloid headline or something, because maybe it was when she was marrying Michael Douglas or whatever, and people were being mean to her. He saw one headline and assumed that meant everyone thinks she's ugly.
Maybe. I don't know. I was just like very confused.
Yeah, that
like
wasn't
the most beautiful person on the planet. They're like, I don't care.
And she's always been the most beautiful person.
Right. So it's very strange. Anyways.
Good call. Good call.
Danielle Still novels get a plug in that, and the Are We King Tuts? Good Lord. And then in CoverGirl, when Charlotte's on the self-help aisle and glances at the Deepak Chopra book.
Oh, yeah.
That's not aged well in recent weeks. You don't know what I'm talking about? Read the news. Or don't. I don't know. I really don't know.
Just don't.
Yes. Also aged badly for me was this voice transition. I absolutely hated it. It says, this is in a transition from Carrie catching Samantha with the delivery guy to Miranda going on her first Weight Watchers meeting. Carrie's narration says, some women like Samantha know when to stop putting things in their mouths, while others like Miranda need a little help. What?
That entire subplot was very dusty. That would have fit in your Dusty Bits segment.
What?
Yeah. And she's also like thin going into those meetings, and they start like broadcasting her weight. And I'm like, what's happening here? Why is this a thing that's happening?
Yeah, that was just, well, that's because they were trying to wedge in that Krispy Kreme placement, which is why we were also randomly in a bookstore. Like, just that whole episode, that was like...
Just like a million ways you could do the Krispy Kreme reference without making her feel guilty about her weight.
And without ruining Krispy Kreme for the rest of us.
For the rest of us. So true.
All that said, it's not ruined it. If a plate full of them got brought in right now, I'd be like, nom, 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 while watching it.
I've eaten a dozen during a 5K before. I will not be stopped. It won't stop me.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Won't
you know
stop.
what I'm saying? What about special moments of friendship that we want to highlight?
Mine is maybe a bit of a curveball.
Oh, I like curveballs.
But keep your expectations low. It's me.
Do.
I like to oversell things. I just wanted to call out our boy Jerry /Smith and pick a little, talk a little. Are you dying?
Well, I was trying not to spit all over your bedroom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hear it.
Now everybody knows we're in my bedroom.
Or not.
Now. But it took a lot of courage for Jerry to try to push Samantha into a real conversation. She made it really clear as soon as he revealed something about himself that was real, she didn't have anything to do with it. Like you said, she stormed out. He lured her back in and then lured her into a real conversation. And that's special.
Minus the lure.
That's special.
Word. Yes.
Lured her into his web.
Lured her into a van.
He lured her into his web of honesty. So I really think that there's worse uses of the word lure.
Well, that's true.
So I just wanted to call that one out.
Okay. I actually thought there was a lot in the baby shower.
Oh, yeah.
So the girls gathering to watch TV, but really just talk crap on someone that like is no longer in the group. Mm-hmm. Sorry, hate to tell you. That's a Cosmo conversation.
Girlhood.
Yeah. Meeting up to drive to an event that no one wants to attend. Mm-hmm. This is incredibly bonding for women. Nikki and I used to carpool to work together.
We've carpooled to work. We've been to many happy hours that neither of us wanted to be at.
It's trauma.
There's nothing stronger than a trauma bond.
That's right.
Ask me how I know. I have a few of them.
Yep, and we share a few. So, the bar scene where Carrie tells him that she may be pregnant, that also felt very cheesecake Cosmo-y. And then Miranda and Carrie go to the store for a pregnancy test, and they have a conversation all around that, and they tell each other scary stories about their childhood. That feels very in vain. And then in Pick a Little, Talk a Little, Carrie and Miranda helping Charlotte cook for her first Shabbat.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really, like, showing up for something like that. That's friendship.
And when you don't really cook, like Carrie has said she doesn't really cook.
Or Miranda.
Okay. I couldn't remember. Yeah. But they were there.
They were there.
And they were trying. And they were wearing aprons, I'm pretty sure.
They were absolutely wearing aprons. There was a little conversation about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Friendship.
That's right.
Are we ready for our side quest?
Let's do it.
We have a real talk side quest this week because Salina pointed out that this batch of episodes, which I will also say is kind of interesting to me, that this is the first batch of episodes that has brought out like a series of topics that we felt like we needed to address separately. Mm-hmm. And it's curious that that's in the Samantha batch. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that in and of itself is something that tells us a little bit about ourselves and the way we're conditioned in the world, that her challenging some of the things that are seen as realities of women's lives bring out these topics or themes that we want to dig into a little bit more.
Oh, that's a real thinker.
Sit with that for a minute.
I will.
But we had 3 episodes where Salina pulled out some questions for us to maybe chat about a little bit and see if it hit both of us the same way. So the baby shower, just in general, like what does this one say about moms and motherhood? And I'm happy to start that one to say that I wonder how many young women watched this episode and believed that having children would be the end of their lives. Because that is 100% the takeaway from this episode. That Lainey's entire life was ruined. She was never going to have fun again.
It is a very, as a non-mom, it is a very ungenerous read, I think. I have other thoughts, but I think that it is through a very specific lens. Mm-hmm. We are certainly being pulled into this world through the eyes of our main characters. All of our main characters are single. I think they're in different states about how they feel about potential motherhood, and whether or not that's going to be on the horizon for them. I will say, I don't know. Like it's a little generational. I'm surprised to see this generation having this reaction at that age. The age that they're at is usually when my friends started being like, my ovaries hurt. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is how I acted at like the first baby shower I ever went to. And I was like 20, you know, and it was just like way too soon for me to be at a baby shower and even know how to act, because I was still a baby myself. And I will tell you, at 20, it did feel like that to me, because that was a real life changer for someone who is 20 versus 30 or 35 or 38 or 42 or whatever, you know. So I think the other thing I'll say is, can I take a wider lens on this episode? Even just the way they set this one up, the dichotomy is very interesting, right? Like we have urbanites versus suburbanites from the beginning. It's moms versus non-moms. It's single versus married. And like, even when they show up in Connecticut, all the women are in black coats in this very pastel world that Lainey has created for herself. And so like, even just visually, we're already being told one thing is not the other, you know? We hear hush talk and not so hush talk. Everybody both groups think the other group is sad, you know, still going out at this age, or they no longer have a life. Like it's going on both directions. I think we're just getting the stronger angle from the main character energy that we have from our 4 ladies. So, I also want to say, before we've even arrived, Miranda has already told us how we feel. Motherhood is a cult. She has 2 sisters. She knows. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we even get this like runner And this, I also wanted to share some of this as like a reminder for people who haven't seen the episode in a long time. I hadn't seen it in a long time. So I think the Shayla thing was the main thing that I remembered. But we get a thing where Lainey's like introducing everybody. And she's like, that's Betsy and her boy Harry. They're inseparable. They do everything together. We call them our old married couple. Except it's not that funny since Betsy and her husband are getting divorced. And Lainey, we need you. So all I have to do is go meet the ideal man and give birth to him. Now, this is Miranda talking. Then we hear from another woman at the party. I love my son. Andy is 11 months old. He is a god, and I tell him so every day. And then Miranda goes, 30 years from now, what do you think the chances are that some woman's going to be able to make Andy happy? I'm going to go with 0. So we are also getting like these really larger, like it's a little askew. You know what I'm saying? It feels like maybe a tad exaggerated for effect. So that's, and then we get the truth in quotes from her, Carrie's like column style interviews.
Yes.
And I had drafted those down too. So, well, I didn't draft anything, to be clear. Before I married my husband, I slept around with everybody. Now I have an internet lover. No one knows. When I was a senior vice president of I used to be a senior vice president of 212 people reporting to me daily. Now I just yell at the gardener who doesn't understand a single word. I'm exactly the same. I love my life, but every now and then I can't help but think about Lisa. Sometimes I climb up into the kids' tree house with my Walkman, light up a joint, and listen to Peter Frampton. And she's sitting there swinging a kid back and forth, a little scarily.
Well, she's on another planet.
Yeah.
Mentally, she's checked out.
That's right, on the Peter Frampton planet. So, yeah.
I feel like the thing I had to back out and think about with this episode is, again, contextualizing it to the time in which it was created.
Yes.
Because obviously I can't help but feel judged and triggered by something like this because I have kids and I live in the suburbs. Sure. And it felt like they were just making fun of everything about my life. And that doesn't feel good for anyone. But I had to remember that this was like the late 90s, early 2000s. And for its time, it was like a message that wasn't coming across, this message that it's okay not to see those things in your future. Mm-hmm. I just really hate when we take this black and white view on it. Like you said, for effect, they have to do it for effect. But man, I just wonder how many people watched this and thought like, God, it must really suck to move to the suburbs and have kids. Those poor women can't smoke joints anymore.
I mean, they can. It just needs to be in the treehouse.
It just has to be in the treehouse. I think my point is that
none of us caught the Walkman as a Dusty reference either.
Oh yeah, right. I am really grateful for shows like Working Moms and like things that show that motherhood can be layered and nuanced. Yeah. And you do lose part of yourself. That's undeniable. There's a part of you that will never be the same again. But it's because it's replaced by something different. And you have to work extra hard to remember who you used to be.
See, I thought this was the perfect thing for you and I to both talk about, right? Like, because you bring a very certain experience to the table, literally, and I bring a very certain experience to the table. And I think, yeah, I mean, I didn't find like I said, I thought most of it was pretty ungenerous to moms. And I could understand how someone would watch this and be like, okay, thanks. But then I could also understand, like you said, for the era, like sometimes when things are so entrenched, you have to break them first. Yeah. And so this was the breaking. And so I think the mom show, the new one that you mentioned.
Working Moms?
Thank you. That one I loved. And I do agree. That's a much more nuanced portrayal. I think it shows how it's hard, but through a more generous lens than this did. I also think that I've had several of my mother friends tell me that feel like they've lost themselves in motherhood. I mean, you just said the same thing, but you also said something beautiful that I'm not sure I've heard before, which is it gets replaced by something different. And so I do think that there is something to that is captured in the sauce here. Mm-hmm. But again, like not in the way that I would do it if I wanted to bring people along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think they were, to your point, trying to talk to people who were single and trying to come to terms with that, and not for people who were already married. They've already told you you're in a cult. There's no getting you back.
Right.
But I just thought that this was so critical for us to talk about when our larger mission with the podcast. I mean, first of all, it's to have fun, but it is to talk about women's stories. And that comes along with this idea of like women also questioning whether motherhood is right for them or what it means to be a mother. These are like really big, important questions that women are faced with. For me, the lesson here is like women supporting women, that needs to be more lived and less words tossed around when it's convenient. And I think that, I think women are supporting women. Like our generation is not like our mom's generation, by and large. We've talked about this before. There's like 12 seats at the table out of thousands, and good luck, ladies, y'all just fight club for it, and they sort of, and that really did exist, but they kind of took that thinking and kept it moving. And that doesn't help anyone. That's not it. I'm not making it right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the era that they were in. And I don't think our era is the same, but I do think sometimes we could do a better job supporting one another. And I do see, I don't know, rift is maybe too strong, but there's certainly a divide between people who have children and people who do not. The schedules are different, just first and foremost, but I really, 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 really try to leave room for my friends who are also mothers, because it's a really hard job and they deserve support and you deserve support. And I haven't had children, and sometimes that can be a really hard job in a weird, different way. And some of the judgment that you receive can be really interesting to take on. Might even hurt your back. I don't know. But anyways, and so I appreciate my mom friends and my other friends who have supported me through my life choices. And I think it's just to me, that's what this episode was a reminder for. We have to show up for one another. We have to have that community. And I think I understand why they were breaking something, but I just feel like that got a little lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I think the other part of this episode in particular was Lainey was kind of not a great friend, it sounds like, just in general. And so they were trying to show up for someone they didn't really care about in the first place.
Yeah, it's hard.
So that, I think,
it happens.
Enabled the plot line a little bit more. But it definitely felt like layers upon layers of judgment.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, is this a 1998 episode or whatever? I would hope the discussion would be more nuanced today than it was here. But you're 100% right. Everyone's journey is different and everyone's needs are different. And if you lash out because you feel a certain way about something, it's not making it easier on anybody.
It did give us the really great exchange between Miranda and Carrie, where Miranda, suddenly a Nerf ball comes and hits Carrie in the head. And Miranda's like, when I was younger, I used to think the witch was the bad character in Hansel and Gretel. And she was like, should we revisit that? This poor woman has made her perfect house, and these kids just come along and eat it. And
I think Miranda was fantastic in this episode.
So good.
And the irony of the fact that she ends up becoming a mom is fascinating to me.
I really hope that was all purposeful. You know what I'm saying? She even says in here, I'll probably have 5 or something like that. And so maybe we should have known it was coming. But yeah, I really, I just want to say, as much as I think it's very important that women support women, I also thought this episode is still hilarious.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
It is very funny.
We have a sense of humor, people. Is what we're trying to say.
Okay, so I want to hear your thoughts on this next one. Season 3, episode 6, Are We King Tuts? The question that you posed is, what is this saying about relationships through the lens of women?
And your question is, what is it saying?
What's your thesis here? What's your thing?
So this was one that it was interesting because all of the main characters were up against something in this episode that had to do with their sexuality. And I thought this was an interesting and frank look at dating and sex through the lens of women. So seeing each of the women confronted with stigma and shame that women can feel when they actually embrace being a sexual person.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, and then maybe what we can do is you can just react and tell me if you think I'm overreading it.
Okay, let's see.
Or you can tell me if I'm perfect. I'll take either option.
Okay. You're perfect.
Oh, women showing up for women, you know? So Carrie's confusion and frustration when Aiden isn't ready to have sex. Now, this one is so interesting because it has been 10 days and he's like, hey, but even the way it's played, like you think a long time has passed.
Yes.
Just because it's like over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
again, this is like, I think a really good indicator of how strong her lens is because we're taking in that. I'm like, yeah, Aiden, take your pants off. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, it's been 10 days. I'm like, damn, Carrie, keep your shirt on. Yeah, but not really. I don't know. I haven't dated in a really long time, so I'm probably not the best barometer for this. But like, I also interestingly did tune into Kristen Davis's podcast, and so she does an episode with somebody who hosts another podcast like about this episode, and they were talking about this situation, and this was not my initial thought, so like I don't want to present it as mine, but basically they were saying like the man in the dynamic is still making the decision making in this case. And so like somehow there is like a little bit of a power play here, even though it's like played as romantic, and like how his line about I'm waiting for someone I actually care about like landed not as strongly as it may have in like 2001 or whatever it was, or 2000. And I think this is a very easy to overread situation, but and I think that does confuse it a little bit. But I mean, there is something to say for the fact that she's ready to have sex. He's put the hammer down no matter what. Like, she still doesn't really get a choice. I just think that's interesting. I also understood, like, as soon as he said 10 days, I was like, oh, I mean, it's 10 days, Carrie.
Calm down.
It's okay.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. But I also think that, like, one thing that might get wrapped up in that, too, is, like, if a man doesn't want to, now I'm not saying this is right, but, like you're straight in this particular case, and someone doesn't want to have sex with you, and then you're like, oh, I'm not desirable. And so I think that is definitely in the sauce too. So it's like, it's eating at something for her, you know? For Miranda, she's dealing with the fallouts of chlamydia. And so her and Steve sharing their respective number of partners is the one that hit me. And Carrie goes ahead and she just says it very plain in the narration. Note, men who have had a lot of sexual partners are not called sluts. They are called very good kissers. A few are even called romantics. And I think that just sort of sets up this other kind of plot dynamic. And then Samantha, of course, is essentially ousted from her building because she has an active nightlife. It's really not.
It's not because she had an active nightlife. It's because her active nightlife let in more active nightlife.
That's true. But sometimes when someone's behind you, you just feel rude closing the door in their face. You know?
You just feel like a jerk.
Yeah. I don't think that's what was happening for Dude,
no.
But it's happened to me. And then Charlotte is definitely verbally abused by a lover during climax. So,
and like he's weirdly like blanking out or something.
That's right. I do actually have questions later on, and I'll just go ahead and say it now since we're talking about it. Was he a serial killer? Do we know?
Yeah, he's some kind of sociopath.
He's like a little worried.
There's like a gap in his brain synapse. Yeah,
Something's happening.
Something unusual was happening.
Yeah,
there.
Charlotte, please get out of the building. You know what I'm saying? So those are the setups. But let me just put, like, this is what it had me thinking about. So this, for me, was a really solid example of the mental gymnastics women experience that men do not. Men do not have to think about their number of partners and feel bad about it. If anything, they might bump it up some. You know, the rule of 3. So Miranda spends the entire episode tracking down lovers from her entire life, which, by the way, guys, you don't have to do that, okay? I'm just going to tell you, it's 12 months. If anyone ever tells you your entire life for chlamydia, that's not true. Okay.
There was a lot about this episode that felt like a PSA, and that was
wrong.
Yeah, some of the information just wasn't quite right.
Whoopsie. But she makes all these phone calls. She's going through all this, and the guy who actually gave it to her, who does appear in an earlier episode, just so you know.
Okay.
He did give it to her and was pissed that she called him. And he clearly has not told a soul that he had chlamydia. That's how he handled it as a man. So
they'll find out eventually.
Right, it's fine. Men are also not having existential crisis over whether they feel like, act like, or are perceived to be sexually promiscuous, which is what this entire episode is about. So that's another way in which no mental gymnastics. And I think a lot has changed in the last 25 years, but this stigma for women is still definitely a thing. And for that reason, it felt like something worth bringing up.
Yeah.
Anything for you?
Yeah, I think the Carrie one that one's tough because I'm fascinated. I should listen to that Kristen Davis podcast episode that you mentioned because I feel like there's weirdly a line about consent in there too. Like calling it a power play, I'm not sure that's landing with me. Mm-hmm. It has to be two of you involved at all times, whether you're male or female. You both have to agree that's something you want at that point in time. Mm-hmm. And I think that positioning that as a power play is not, I don't think that's fair. Because if Carrie had said she wasn't ready, then we'd be having a conversation about consent.
Yeah, I'm also remembering something from 2 weeks ago. So I could be a little off. I do think it's interesting that no matter what, she's like made to feel wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? There was I think she's probably, this sort of indicates that she's been in a lot of relationships where a man has probably been ready to have sex as soon as possible, or is what we call life. And so there may have been times in her life where that didn't feel right at the moment, but she did it because that's what she felt like she had to do to sustain whatever relationship. And then in this case, like she is ready and she's still wrong. And so maybe there is something from that angle. Again, it really is just those mental gymnastics that doesn't feel like anybody, he just knows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A man just knows he wants to do it or doesn't want to do it, and that's it. And she's got to go have 12 conversations with her girlfriend about it. She's going to go journal about it. She's going to meditate about it. She's going to go shopping and think about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, this could also say that we need to learn how to chill out.
We got to just chill. Because that's what I was going to say. It's almost like the crux of the show, right? Like this episode is almost the thesis of this whole show, which is what role does sex play in relationships? Yeah. What relationships are we really aiming for? What relationships matter the most? Right. What's the right decision on things? And showcasing that there's no one right decision. Every scenario is different. This relationship is different for Carrie. I assume. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of it to know, but it seems different for different reasons. So I thought it was sweet that he told her he wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice.
Well,
it felt different for me.
Me too. And I don't think I would have thought that had I not listened to someone else's perspective. And just that did feel like a much more like I'm going to say we'll call it a nowadays perspective.
Yeah.
You know, where we are starting to take a little bit of closer look of like motives and where women get to sit in whatever power dynamic, whether it be in the bedroom, whether it be in the boardroom, blah, 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 blah.
I do feel like Miranda's storyline was very empowering, and the way she handled that's just called responsibility and maturity and dealing with your stuff.
She's very responsible and mature.
The man that she was dealing with that gave it to her was not responsible or mature or dealing with his stuff, which is why they didn't end up together. So yay.
Well, Miranda. They did have a kid together and other things.
I was talking about the guy that gave her chlamydia.
Him.
That guy.
Oh, yeah. He was bad.
Yeah.
He was a little bit of a rageaholic. So
I was very worried about Charlotte's situation.
Oh, yeah.
That one concerned me.
Yeah. There were some concerning things. Definitely out of all of these people, Aiden is the winner.
He's clearly the winner.
He also makes baths.
Yes. Yes, that too.
So there you go. Okay, do we want to move on to the last episode?
Are you ready to talk about Pick a Little, Talk a Little? Yeah. So your question was, what is the Burger Carrie plot saying about how women have to feel like they're too much? I feel like there's lore that I'm missing here because obviously I didn't realize he was Post-it Note Guy. The reason I found out he was Post-it Note Guy is because when I went to pull the summary for this, one of the trivia points was like, this is the last time we'll see Burger before he leaves the infamous Post-it note for Carrie. Did not realize that was the same guy.
Okay.
Of what I got to say, I can clearly say that this one was a tough watch because he is so clearly jealous of her. Jealous of her success as a writer, jealous of like her, I don't know, personality and just like how charming she is. I don't know. He's jealous of something. He also is like really sensitive and unable to take criticism.
Insecure.
Thank you. So was Carrie's scrunchy comment perfectly timed? No, probably not. She probably didn't need to lead her review of his book with, but how did you put the woman in a scrunchie? But also, should he have made such a big deal about it? No.
Right.
And Carrie definitely should not have been, you use the term mental gymnastics, should not have been putting herself through it to try to make him feel better.
Right.
Because that was never going to happen.
Right. And I do think that's like a little bit of what this one had me thinking about too, which is like women having to be like the emotional regulator. And it's like, it does seem part and parcel to the whole we're the nurturer thing. But sometimes we want to be nurtured, guys and gals. And everyone out there, you know, sometimes we need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And I think that is an exhausting role that women play that we don't get really any credit for.
Yeah.
So, but
in fact, we just get more of it put on us because we're good at dealing with it.
Exactly.
So you just end up with more.
Because you're just good at these things, like throwing baby showers.
Ugh.
So, you know, I've been thinking about this a little bit lately, like this weird rock and a hard place where women get caught. So it's what I've already shared, but also like how simultaneously we're like not enough to ourselves sometimes, but also too much. And it's like, how? You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, for Miranda, for instance, like she can't get a guy interested. Like he's just not that into you, you know, and you know, that whole reference there, but like also Carrie's like in your face scrunchy commentary to Berger just made her way too much for him to handle, you know, and her being like, honestly, her authentic self. I think what we were seeing too, like this is the episode where they say they love each other, you know, so she's still post, Aiden. Okay. And post big. And there's like a lot of different elements there. And so she's post some hard relationships where I don't think I don't think she's ever been with like a creative like this before. She hasn't been with a writer like this.
That was in the
before.
trivia that I read. It wasn't trivia, but like commentary on this episode this was her first relationship with a fellow creative.
Right. So I think I paused for a minute because Aiden does make furniture and that feels kind of creative, but like this is like more of like a mental creative, I guess. And so I think her being able to really not only say, I love you, but drop the veil, show who she is. And he was like, no, thanks, you know? And I think that is just like a lot for someone to have to go through. And again, I think about mental gymnastics. Also, we do have the Charlotte plot line in this one as well. So she's done all this work for Harry to make their first Shabbat together for the two of them. Yeah, the whole thing was very upsetting. You know, this is also on the back end of her converting to Judaism for him. And
which, to be fair, she kind of used as ammunition against him, which I thought was not super fair.
So I don't think either person looks really good in this scene. But he can't even turn the baseball game off, which is a real thing.
So hard.
Yeah, she made challah bread. Just hard. Just turn it off for like 5 minutes.
She didn't just make it. She braided it.
Yes. And so, you know, it winds up being a tougher look for her, I think, because she lets her anger get the best of her and says some really mean things,
some really awful things,
including about his looks, like, or the insinuation that just didn't need to be.
When we walk outside and they're looking at us, you know what they're thinking. How did she end up with him or whatever?
Right. Yeah. It's like maybe a very heavy insinuation.
Yes.
But like this is that thing of a woman giving everything 1,000,000%. And then like ultimately becoming too much because she's given everything, like whether it's Shabbat in this case, or also to her career or her kids or whatever. And suddenly it like turns into resentment. So I just think there's like, it just had me thinking a lot about, again, this idea of way too much, whether it's our inability to show 100% who we truly are because we think we're going to be judged, or that idea of too much. Like we've given too much of ourselves and we forget ourselves and then we get mad. And either way, you're talking about someone getting pretty hurt in the end and then the people around getting hurt too. So I don't know what the solution is.
So it's interesting to me, the Charlotte situation. You said it earlier, like men don't think about all these things and they're not putting their brains through all these things. She did a thing that she thought was going to mean something to him. Yes. The truth is it didn't mean something to him.
Yeah, he's done Shabbat all his life.
So was he a little ungrateful about it? Yes. But was she doing too much? I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was doing it not from a place of wanting to do best by him. She was doing it from a place of wanting to look like the perfect Jewish wife and wanting everyone around to know that she can do Shabbat dinner. It was all coming from a place of making herself look better, which I think is the lesson here. When you're doing something for other people's perception and not really for the person you love, then you are doing too much.
Yeah.
Carrie's situation was, what I didn't love about her situation was she felt she needed to tone herself down to make him love her. And I really, from the moment I saw him on screen, and it wasn't appearance, it was the way he talks, the things he said, I was like, she is settling. Why is she settling? Who is this person?
Oh, that's funny.
Who is this person? And then when she said she loved him, I was like, I am missing lore here because this relationship should not be happening. Nothing about this feels right. They didn't look right next to one another. They didn't talk with one another the right way. Like nothing about it felt right. She felt the whole episode like she was never good enough for him. Like he thought he was better than her. And so I think in her situation, I definitely hated that she felt like she had to clean up this mess, I'm putting in quotes, that she made, when really it was a good observation. And she ended up right in the end. Not that it's about being right, but she was right in the end when they met that lady from Savannah.
Even if she was from Macon.
Macon, thank you.
And I thought that was also very ungenerous.
Yes. She thinks I'm from New York City.
We're from Macon, Georgia.
She loves my scrunchie.
And I was like, this was the thesis of our podcast.
Designing
right
Women. That was it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's where it came from.
I really like the tone herself down thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the exact feeling that's in me, and I didn't have the words for it. And that is it. And if you have ever been look, it doesn't have to be a woman. If you've just ever been walking around in this world and you felt like you've had to tone yourself down, that is not a pleasant position to be in. I've done it many times and I've never been pleased at the end of that road. And so I hope for everyone to be their most authentic selves. You know,
I have toned myself down in the last couple of years and I love it. I feel great about it. I am investing so much less in, and I think I'm speaking to the Charlotte situation from a position of my own thing where I have a pattern of doing things because I think it's what other people want me to do.
Yes. That's not toning down your personality.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Not like essential Nikki.
Yeah, that's true.
Because trying to please people, that's actually not what your spirit came in to do.
Yeah.
So that's what the world.
Speak to me, spirit. What did you come here?
That's what the world conditioned.
That's true.
You
Fair
to
enough.
Do. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So
I'll allow it.
And I love that because you shouldn't have to be everything for everyone. And I think that's the other point of this, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I'm not saying that never happens for men. I'm not trying to be unfair towards men. I love one. I live with one, So, I mean, obviously I'm in the camp for them, but also like, I don't see men feel like they have to do that all the time. It is a little bit different. So
for sure. I've definitely pointed some things out to Kyle that like perceptions that I have.
Call Casey right now.
It's never even occurred to him. Like, exactly. I'll just be like, aren't you worried they think X, Y, and Z? And he's like, no.
Nobody's still this book idea, but I do want to write a book called 10 Things We Could Actually Learn from Men.
And that is truly the other piece of it. When we think about how we have this conversation about what it's like to be a woman in the world, is acknowledging what it's like to be a man in the world too. And acknowledging that maybe they've come out on top a couple of times because they're doing something right that we're not getting right.
Right.
What are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
What have we done wrong here? Because we are clearly at certain points in womanhood going wrong.
It's like
If we're not happy, we're going wrong.
There are those external forces, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is patriarchy and everything that has created environmentally around us that we like everyone at some level is either like knowingly or unknowingly guilty of intentionally or unintentionally supporting.
Mm-hmm.
So that is true. That there is also something that wells up within each one of us that has to be addressed as well. So I'm working on it.
My favorite,
I'll let you know what I find out.
Midlife realization is that I can have white male privilege too. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, wonderful.
Like
yeah.
showing up into a meeting, like I channel Kyle in meetings at work sometimes because he's so matter of fact about things sometimes. And I'm like, aren't you worried that's going to hurt their feelings, or aren't you afraid, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no. And I'm like, so you just say it.
That's right.
You just say it. Okay. Yeah. Let's just say it and see what happens.
The only difference is when he walks out of a room,
Yes.
they don't call him a bitch.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Which is why I still smile when I say it. And sometimes I start with, I think I might be missing something, but why are you all so dumb?
I know. I've been on the receiving end of that.
Softening it.
And I'll tell you who doesn't miss anything.
Softening it.
Sitting across the table from me.
Softening it. I miss loads. Okay. Does that cover the big topics?
Do you feel good?
Yeah, I feel great.
Every time I talk about patriarchy,
Every time, I know. Yeah, I feel okay.
Well, we had the regular quest.
Do you want to go back to our regular quest,
Yeah.
which is which Sex and the City character are we most like?
By next episode, I'll be like, I don't know.
I don't even know anymore. I don't even know. I don't super identify with Samantha at all.
Yes,
I will tell you. I want to channel my inner Samantha at work.
Okay.
She is, I did not say this earlier when I meant to, when she's at her best, she does seem like a badass professional.
Yeah.
Like she does seem to know, we saw that in an earlier episode when she interacted with Richard and he was trying to like, they met at a bar or something and he was like, but did you bring me the cover or whatever? And she's like, not only did I bring you the cover, I secured you the cover story and I got the spread on page 56 or whatever, like all the PR-y things people say.
Yeah.
But like, she seems pretty badass. And I also really like how she unblinkingly challenges people. Like we saw that in the baby shower, like in her interactions with the frenemy, Lainey, was that her name? I keep forgetting it. She just isn't afraid to say what she thinks and like say it with her whole chest. And I really appreciate that. I don't identify with it, but I want to.
Yeah, I love that. I think for me, like that baby shower energy is probably the only thing that really resonates with me. I wouldn't do any of it. But like the darker side of me is like tee hee hee.
Well, yeah, sure.
I got a little tee hee hee out of that. But I also would love to think that I'm hurtling towards, and I think this is a nice compliment to the things that you like about her, like being as unapologetic for being who I am as she is.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, other than that, I don't think I'm much of a Samantha, you know.
No, but we should all have her confidence.
Right. I want you to know I just had 3 really dirty jokes go through my head and I'm going to leave them in my brain. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
Are we going through any burning questions? Did you have any?
I think I've already kind of addressed them throughout the episode. Basically, where does the burger sitch come from? And like, where does he fit in the collection of men that we're going to talk about in Carrie's life? Mm-hmm. And then Samantha's breast cancer saga and what's with that. And I honestly don't know why I know about this. Like, was it addressed in a movie? Like, I knew the breast cancer saga was a thing before I did my research for this, but I had forgotten. And then it popped up and I was like, oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
Or maybe it was just that.
I think, okay, because like, I don't know if you remember this or not, but like, I mean, it is addressed in the movie. She leaves Smith in the movie. So
okay.
I think there's a line like,
maybe I'm remembering
he was there with me through cancer.
Yes.
And he was, and that's probably how you
maybe that's how I remember it. But those were my 2 main questions this week. Okay.
So mine were, WTF is a Bellini baby basket. I looked it up. Oh. It's really not that interesting. Did you already know what one was?
No.
Is that a thing for you?
No.
It's just like a luxury baby basket.
Okay.
And I was sad that I looked that up. I was like, there's life I won't get back.
It's the word I couldn't think of earlier when I was talking about the gift that she brought to the baby shower. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Oh, okay, great. All right. So it's not all time lost.
How much it resonated with me, though, that I couldn't remember it and never looked it up.
You know, I only know the Bellini, the drink. So did is that right? That's a drink, right? Yeah. Orange and champagne or something. I forget.
Orange and champagne's a mimosa, but a Bellini, yes, champagne and something.
Champagne and something. Yeah. Peach. Okay. Did the baby name thing with Charlotte make you angry?
Oh, tell me what you mean.
Like if someone had stolen your baby name.
Oh.
You kept yours kind of close to the vest, didn't you?
Only because we were undecided.
Oh, okay.
We didn't decide. I would have been if it had been a point of discussion with someone, yes, I would have been annoyed. We also strategically tried to choose less common names because it happens unintentionally a lot of times because names become popular at different points in time. So it sounds like she told her that was her baby name and then she stole it. So that probably would have made me mad.
Her secret baby name.
Secret baby name. Yeah. It would have made me mad.
Yeah. I also kind of want to ask you if you like the name, but I'm not going to. All right.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to ask this and you don't have to answer.
Okay.
Thoughts about the lingam massage?
Oh my gosh.
An hour and a half later. I'm just going to leave these with you, okay? Miranda didn't feel anything on her face. She's just looking around going, what? And I'm like, what?
Oh, I thought she did feel it on her face. And I thought her look was more like, of course it's me. Of course it's me.
I really hope that's there. Otherwise, I'm worried that her face has no feeling in it.
It was too early days for Botox. Yeah.
So
that was also gross out humor. I forgot about that.
Well, I wanted to remind you.
Oh, thank you. Gee, so glad I got to have that one again.
It's so funny because I forgot that was in that episode and that one came up and I was like, oh, Nikki.
I was like, what am I watching?
The lingam massage.
It's like this show every time I could almost convince Kyle that like, it's not all about sex. It's a show about women and their place in the world. And then something like that happens and I'm like,
that's the only way I get Casey in.
Sorry. Oh.
I'm like, the whole show is sex. He's like, tell me more.
He wouldn't watch it with me. So if I'm just laying in bed watching this, it sounds like I'm just watching smut on my own.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, that's not all it's about.
Congratulations.
I know.
Congratulations to you. Don't brag. So say the episode Steve has had sex with, what was it, over 200 people or something? He doesn't know what chlamydia is. Do we believe that? He's a bartender, a human in the world.
I don't believe anybody doesn't know what chlamydia is.
I've known since I was like 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe that.
They made us learn in like health.
But maybe if she had used lingo instead of chlamydia and like said she had the clap.
Well, that's gonorrhea.
But
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe he would have known that.
I don't know. That's just strange to me.
Yeah.
I don't even think there is good lingo for chlamydia.
The media?
Gonna come up with some?
The media?
It's so mid.
I don't know. Maybe there's like I don't know. Yeah, I struggled to believe he didn't know it.
Did you like that my final question was about chlamydia?
I love that for you. I love your constant curiosity about the world around you.
That's me. All right. So next up, because I do the closings now, y'all, is the Carrie, and I know it's the Carrie episode. So we'd love everyone to follow along with us and engage on Instagram and Facebook at Sweet Tea and TV, TikTok at Sweet Tea TV Pod, YouTube at Sweet Tea TV 7371, email sweetteatvpod@gmail.com, or you can find us on our website. Or you can find us on our website at www.sweetteatv.com. I was just about to say, I've gotten so good at that.
So good. So good.
There are several ways to support us. Tell your friends and family about us. Please, please, please rate and review us wherever you listen, as long as it's a good rating and review. Otherwise, just don't worry about it, honey. We also have some additional ways available from the website, from our support us page. And come back Thursday for an extra sugar where Nikki will walk us through all the behind the scenes tea. And you know what that means, Nikki?
What does it mean, Salina?
And just like that, we'll see you on Thursday.